Hi guys. Today I want to talk to you about something that I think bothers a lot of non-Christians and makes them think that Christians are just a lot of talk. So when somebody is going through something and we say, well, I'll pray for you, sometimes if somebody doesn't understand the significance of that, they may get frustrated and think, well, I don't need your prayers, I need help. And I think there's two sides to this. One side is some Christians are just lazy and they kind of use the term or the words, I'll pray for you, instead of actually putting their hand to something and helping this person. Then there's other times where we can't really help somebody, or maybe we are helping them, but they're just really struggling right now, and what they really need is a healing or a touch from God. Or whatever it may be, it needs to come through divine power, not through human power. And this is where the words I'll pray for you have so much significance, because you've got now two people joining together in agreement, asking God for deliverance or healing, or to move on the situation. There's a book that I want to share with you. It's called Streams in the Desert by Mrs. Chaz E. Kalman. And I was given this for Christmas, this past Christmas, and it's a devotional book, and the copyright, it's pretty old. The copyright, it says copyright 1925 by Mrs. Chaz E. Kalman, and under that it says copyright 1950 by Kalman Publications, Inc. In the memory of my beloved companion, Chaz E. Kalman. So, a little confused about who wrote this, but nonetheless, it's a devotional book, and it's a really good one, because there are some devotional books that I feel are fluffy. And what I mean by that is, when I read them, I don't feel like I'm getting filled. I feel like I'm either being entertained, or I feel like I'm searching for something deeper and I'm not finding what I'm searching for. And so this book right here, I really feel I'm finding what I'm searching for. It's exactly what I want in a devotional book. It fills me up, it makes me think, and it's just what I believe a devotional book should be. So, that being said, January 5th's devotion is one that is going to tie everything I've been talking about up to this point all together. So it starts by giving a verse that says, Lord, there's none beside thee to help. And that's 2 Chronicles chapter 14, verse 11. And I'm not going to read much of this because I don't know how the copyright works, but I'll just start reading parts of this that pertain to what I want to talk to you about. Remind God of his entire responsibility. There is none beside thee to help. see. It may be that your difficulties have been allowed to come to so alarming a pitch that you may be compelled to renounce all creature aid to which in lesser trials you have had recourse, and cast yourself back on your almighty friend. Wasn't that written so well? I love the way that was written, because first it says, remind God of his entire responsibility. Did God forget? No, of course not. But God is personal, and we can talk to him, and we can say, God, there is none beside you that can help me. And then I think that these times when everything just comes crashing down on us, and there's not a thing that a soul can do for us. There's people that can do things physically for us, but there's nobody that can do things spiritually for us. And I think this is where the blessings happen. And I know that in the hardest times in my life, I've been blessed the most, because I've had the presence of God just fill me, just out and overflowing of the presence of God just all around me during the most brutal trials that I've ever faced. And to be able to come out the other side and say that that was a blessing is incredible. And God is real. He's true. He's loyal. And he's omnipotent, and he is there. There's sometimes nothing that somebody can do for us, but just to know that they're praying and that we're communicating to God together. That's all the comfort that they can be at the time. And before you understand how much prayer does, that may sound like a cop-out, like, well, I'll pray for you. But once you understand it, it may be for some people, and I'm sorry if you've had that experience, but on the contrary, once you understand how powerful prayer is, you're gonna receive that differently next time you're told somebody's going to pray for you during your trial. Alright, and then it says, and this is this is italicized, so I don't know if this is like a insert or if this was written by the same person, but it says, when nothing whereon to lean remains, when strongholds crumble to dust, when nothing is sure but that God still reigns, that is just the time to trust. 'Tis better to walk by faith than sight, in this path of yours and mine, in the pitch black night when there's no outer light, is the time for faith to shine. It's so true, and those words mean so much to me because I've experienced them for myself. There's a verse that goes something like, taste and see that the Lord is good, that the Lord is true. And I've tasted and I've seen that the Lord is both good and true. When nothing whereon to lean remains, when no human help is possible, strongholds crumble to dust, when something that always was your go-to does nothing for you in this trial you're facing, when nothing is sure and you have no idea what to believe or do anymore, you know for certainty, without a shadow of a doubt, that God still reigns. It's better to walk by faith than sight. When there's no outer light, it's the time for faith to shine. Sometimes it's in our darkest moments that we see the light the brightest. 11. Well, this is in 2nd Chronicles as well. Let's see. I'm about to read you a verse. 14:11. Okay, what I'm going to read you is 32:8. With him is an arm of flesh, but with us is the Lord our God to help us and to fight our battles. So sometimes what we need is human help. Sometimes we need somebody to, if we're disabled or elderly and we can't take care of our lawn, for example, then we need human help. And hearing somebody say, I'll pray for you, well, thank you. Would you please pray that somebody would come and cut my grass or water my flowers? So there's that. But on the flip side, there's times when what we need is not an arm of flesh. Sometimes what we need is the Lord. And now that's not to say that we don't always need the Lord, but if you've ever faced a trial, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, that's all that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I hope that that was encouraging, and that your spirits were lifted, and that you either learned something or got something out of this. Until next time.